Alright then, so to Sunwall Outpost I go. Plan is I'm going to knock it out. Then I'm going to basically set the levels for a few dungeons basically after. From there, if I have time, I'll basically start to explain these skills of his Psyshot a little bit. Because I've yet to really explain anything for this character. I probably should. I doubt this will take too long to go through because we basically already cleared the first level of the Sunwall Outpost, but you never know. Alright, so an Orc Gunslinger basically joined forces with me for the second level of the outpost. This guy just has an inscription wild, so he'll have reduced damage to himself, but you know, it's not as good as it could be, I guess. It's worth noting. Fun! A paladin recruit right here. Let's drop this here. So that's something to watch out for with your weapons. It is possible to hit your friends with these type of weapons here, so let's do that. I'm gonna step here so this guy doesn't take any more damage. In many ways, I sort of missed the Berserker from the Dwarven start. When I basically play something like this, you start to realize just how much better that Berserker basically was compared to this character here. Let's drop that here. That's not fun. You're being annoying apparently, so let's just do that. I'll note that the barricades basically in this level, and all the other levels of the Sunwall Outpost will basically cause issues for the enemies, and your Orc Gunslinger here. They'll sometimes get a little bit lost here, so let's drop this here. Apparently he did attack me, by the way, but our melee retaliation basically killed him, so that's nice. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I have to sort of explain things with this character, because I have melee retaliation, I have a shield. What else does this character have going for him? Quite a bit actually, if you investigate. Alright, well, there's a little piece of lore. Note by the way, there's a Ziggurat Fire actually wiped out by the way at this point in the history of like Maj'Eyal, so to speak. The magic lynching mob have been like sort of like wiped out by the Allied Kingdom, so they're no longer an issue over there. And yet again, we have barricades here, so an issue. You can't really dig with like these like trains in a way either, so another issue basically, so to speak. There we go. Let's drop this here and kill them both. I will note by the way, these barricades can sometimes cause issues with these buildings as well sometimes. It's very possible that like these barricades will actually block off like doors and other stuff that should spawn. And even block off areas of the levels as well. Which is like not always nice to have, but it happens. Put that right there. Alright, ow. Just gonna explode right here. Drop this right there. So he cast Sunflare there, basically blinding me for a moment, but can get rid of that easily enough. Ow. I really wish I had some better descriptions at this point because these are really lacking. All things considered. Alright, so I'll note this piece of lore sword comes after another one that basically is addressed to like, Outpost John. But here's basically like a little bit of a reply from like Outpost John to like a letter basically Commander Trails basically sends here. And here's the actual like letter that he's like getting his reprimand for, so to speak. Drop that right here. I guess it's worth knowing about I actually outrun my orc like gunslinger so often, so that's a thing. Alright, so here's basically an Orphil, by the way. You don't usually see these guys until later, but this guy's basically one of the other casters basically going to run into. He just hit me with Moonlight right there. Now he's dead. Oh yeah, Net Protector I think like, pins this guy, so he's pinned for a moment. Let's drop this here. Alright, so that's basically going to be it for this level. And note by the way that there's basically this like, place down here that doesn't have like a door. Probably what happens is like, it's supposed to spawn a door around here, but the barricades are in the way, so we have to tunnel in to basically get into like that area right there. So basically one of the like examples of the barricades essentially interacting with the door spawning. and preventing the door from actually spawning. Meh, don't really care about this. We got ourselves an orc with a Chalier this time around. He's got wild inscription too, which is not the greatest, but you know, it's fine. He'll be able to do some stuff here. Let's drop that there. I'm not probably this guy's actually melee oriented as opposed to range like the gunslinger, so we might still have some like you know issues with shooting in the back because like you know he steps in front of us. Now, I want you guys basically read this by the way a little bit in like you know earnest, because if you basically look at this, like, you'll see it's like you know very like you know we are like far superior to you, but we need your help, so to speak, type of like you know address to like the Sunwall people here. I'll note by the way in this game, the animals are very like you know how can I put this? They're really like above themselves, so to speak. And that basically is what causes the issues with them in New York, so to speak, is like a result of like you know them being at war. It's not so much that they're at war because like you know the orcs were attacked them or anything like that, but rather like you know they really just don't understand how war basically works. In all honesty, it's like you know the gist of it. Now, I'll note that this is basically the level that, like, the outpost is possibly going to spawn. I have to be very careful of that because he can be, like, you know, very deadly basically to fight if you're not, like, you know, prepared for him. And I'm not. Just to throw it out there. I probably actually should be avoiding using my, like, blowing shot until I see him because I mean to, you know, may need the extra firepower to take him down. Ugh, I don't like the fact that he went that way, this guy, but let's do this. And of course, you know, I shot him in the back right there, so he's getting corroded. On the part, this guy can't block, so that's one good thing about this guy here, I guess. There we go, we got him. Apparently he's got counter strike on himself, but you know, whatever, that's fine. I will note, by the way, this is a fairly ideal sort of like, you know, way of like doing a Sunwall Outpost. Just like sort of like, you know, scout around and hopefully like, you know, find the guy before like, you know, he sort of like finds you. He's not actually like searching around for me, but you know, this is a very dangerous area nonetheless. I'll note, by the way, this is unofficially the best lore in the game. Alright, let's get to it. There's a ruin up here I want to investigate. You're dead. So that's a Master's ruin, don't really care. Let's do this for a moment. I didn't actually kill that guy, but that's fine. Let's drop that right there, and we'll go miss him, of course, because why not? I don't know where that guy disappeared to, so that's a bit of an issue. It's going after the Orc Retaliator, this guy, who's kind of annoying, but oh well. This guy is melee oriented, so he can take, like, you know, attacks in melee, so that's fine. Another vault, by the way. Drop this here. By the way, I have flashpower for my gloves. I actually haven't been using it, but I probably could just sort of blind someone. Might be useful. I don't usually care about like these talent on glove type abilities that you get from Tinkers, but you do actually have a few of them, so they're there. Where's the door to here? Alchemist's helper. Interesting. What is the Alchemist's helper? I guess we all learned that, so okay, all learned. Alright, so let's get rid of all that stuff there. So Alchemist's helper is basically something that gives you damage changes, I guess. It's probably a weapon-based thing. I probably can get myself focus lens now if I want to. So an aquamarine and steel can let you get the focus lens level 2. Drawing out, let's just create this. So we'll attach that to our headgear here, so now I have a little more sight radius basically. I'll note that the iron grip, by the way, is probably the only sort of on gloves type of thing you usually get, because it basically gives you disarm immunity, this thing. I might get that in the future, but not just yet. Alright, so we dug in there. There's Outpost Leader John. He's yet to see me, so I have the opportunity to sort of explore the map. So we're ready for the focus lens is used for that sort of purpose, basically to give you some sight rays to avoid that sort of issue of fighting prematurely. Oh, I got stunned. Let's get rid of this. So I know he's basically over in this direction over here, so we'll stay away from that area for now. No door spawned here, so now I'll note by I'm basically manually moving around at this point instead of exploring, so I don't basically run over there by accident. I'm actually avoiding John there until we're ready to sort of fight him. And ready will basically be when I basically wipe out everything else in the map, so let's dig into here. Let's dig into here. And we'll dig into here. Alright, well, we got Acid Wave, I guess, from that ruin here. Now, unfortunately, Outpost there, John, he's actually like, you know, what do you call it? He's basically a skilled fighter, but he's also like a magic user at the same time. So, this is not going to be a fun fight to sort of like be doing, but you know, it has to be done. But there he is up there. Alright, so how am I going to basically do this? I'll note that the thing about Outpost Leader John here is that he basically has access to a whole lot of like celestial talents, but at the same time he'll also have access to some like, you know, random class being on nightmare mode, so he's like an archer as well. Interesting. I'm not sure how the archer is going to basically, you know, tie into like his like celestial talents, but it'll be annoying, I guess, nonetheless. What makes this guy sort of dangerous is like you know, actual path play basically here. Essentially what this does is he's going to be able to like, you know, fire off an orb that lets him teleport to a location, and that basically means he'll be able to close the distance between, like, you know, wherever he wants to, so to speak. I also am using like a tier 1 like, you know, weapon, which is not the greatest like to fight this guy with, but you know, I got a tier 1 weapon I got to work with, I guess. Great, he's got a buddy. Okay, good, he's coming toward me. Most likely he's gonna kill the, like, you know, retaliator this guy, but you know, if possible I want to try to like lure him away, so... One. I'll note that right now, what I'm just doing, I'm luring away from that archer up there, so we don't have to deal with him as well. This terrain's okay for fighting him, I think. Yeah, let's go around here, I think, so... There he is right there. He's going after the Orc Retaliator now, which is like not the greatest, but oh well. When I get injured, by the way. I actually prefer if he actually was going after me, but you know, I'll take what I get. He's basically going after this guy here. So let's step over here. So he's using Astral Path right now, so he can basically teleport to the orc here. We're gonna drop that basically on him for now. See, there's like his teleport right there. Let's activate this, and we'll go bowling shot on him right now. I'm not sure if this guy is able to heal, but he's a Celestial character, so I assume he can, so we'll drop that basically on him right here. Finally, like, you know, throw him in an ice block here, so that'll help. We're gonna blind him if I get the chance to, but I guess, like, you know, no luck on that. He's still going after the Orc Retaliator, but it's fine. And yeah, I'm basically taking care for his fight because this guy is tough. So I can just get a little bit of steam. I'll probably want to set that up, you know, in a moment, but you know. Let's hit him with this. Alright, good. I think I stunned him there, or tried to, but you know, he stunned it off anyway, so whatever. Hopefully these like mine drones will basically cause this guy a little bit of issue. Step out of that so I don't take any damage more than I have to. Unfortunately, the Orc Retaliator is going down. This guy's healed himself up there, as you saw, so not the greatest. And yeah, he's actually running away at this point because he's taking so much damage, so. It would have been nice if he actually went after me instead of my like Retaliator, so like, you know, I could like, you know, run away from him if I need to. And I think it's either like, you know, cause my guy to run off again or die. Oh good, he's actually going after me now, so this guy's gonna live up for a little bit here. We're gonna drop that basically on him so he takes some more damage from overtime stuff. Disarm again. Let's go. I'm trying to figure out where the best place to sort of like be would be, so let's go right here. Get some steam. Now the unfortunate, like, you know, problem here is that basically this guy's got a lot of, like, you know, health to go through still. And he's going after Retaliator now, because of course, is why not? Nope, it killed him. The Soul Orb basically hit him for, you know, enough damage to kill him there. That's Astral Path again, so he's going to try and teleport up to me in a moment. Just go here to avoid that. Use Healing Light again to sort of heal up a little bit, but not much I can basically do about that. That's just painful. And you can see like he's just trying to like, you know, catch up to me now, so. He's very good at teleporting this guy is the thing. Alright, so there he goes. Yeah, low enough health, I was able to finish him off there. I'll note that this, like, you know, fight is actually probably one of the most difficult bits to do because basically, like, besides actually he's got, like, you know, random abilities, this guy, he also has, like, you know, enough, like, power to basically take out both you and, like, a friend if you want. But there we go. The way to mainland is now clear. Travel there using the bridge on the world map. So, there we go. We destroyed the Sunwall Outpost and secured the way to mainland. Let's get ourselves a little bit more cunning here. That opens up explosives, electricity, and all sorts of nice stuff over here. But I want to basically get up to this, so you can also boost this up here for steam power and everything else. We probably won't use this for a while, but you know, it's there. Actually, let's get this first. Let's get this over here. We'll get Sonic Mirror over here. I guess we want to keep getting our cunning basically up to get access to this stuff like sooner or later, so let's boost this up a little bit more. We got ourselves Mental Stimulator and Thunderclap Coating from like the the tinkers are basically like, skills are basically put into. And we've got the bomb! Yes, I've got the bomb. And yeah, basically Patient John's general sort of like, noting how he fears that Charles is like, right, and of course Charles right. But he followed his orders, and he died in the end for it. Alright, well. This is like a nice little thing basically to do to, have access to, I guess. Maybe we'll put that basically on. I don't really care about the, like, the totem I see had here, so we can get rid of that right now. Now, I am able to tinker stuff, by the way, so we can make ourselves a steam gun now. I'm not basically the ability to sort of like make steam guns is usually redundant in this campaign, but where I've yet to basically find like a tier 2 steam gun, I'm just gonna do it anyway, so I have like a little bit extra range. So we're gonna convert this sling right here. So now we basically have this like steady steel steam gun of lightning, as opposed to like this mighty iron gun of fire, which basically has like a fire range of 6 as opposed to like this guy's 7. That's the entire purpose for like converting like this like sling into like a gun over here. I just want to get the extra range. There's that stuff there. We also get access to this, by the way, at this point, so if I want to, I can put this in like my gloves if I want to dig sand out of the way if I want to. Let's get rid of that by now. I don't really need it, so whatever. And there's that archer, so let's just go finish him off. We're not going to visit the vaults because I know how dangerous they basically are, so we are done. Alright, so at this point, you probably like, we're basically in the starting area for like the orcs right now. But I will note that this is basically connected to like the Asian Ascendancy campaign, because obviously like we're replacing orc, and essentially over here is the deserts of like Var'Eyal, so to speak, that we basically were like finding like the Rakshar Pride and the Gorbek Pride basically in over here. So these are the very deserts that like the Necromancer like Blight Summoner type of like pride basically was in. Up here is basically where like the Sunwall Observatory and like Gorbek's pride was basically in. We're just gonna jump into this hive right away. Now, I'll note that the Starlight Sandstorm basically equipped will basically be important here because it lets us dig through like the sand. There is no sandworms basically in the Embers of Rage campaign. You basically have like technology to sort of dig your way through stuff. There's vaults though, so that'll be fun. Now, note by the way that these levels here, basically middle level for is 15, and like over here is like 18. And down here, if I basically look around for it, just basically the Troll Domain for it, which is basically 15. I'll note that like unlike the Age of Ascendancy campaign, the minimum levels for like these like all of these areas basically here, they're actually a lot higher than like you're like level at this point, and that's actually something to basically note about this game basically. The sort of like second tier dungeons that we're basically jumping into at this point, we don't have like the option of like sort of leveling up to basically get into like the minimum level range. We have to sort of like jump into them early on. But whatever, we're just gonna set the levels. Eventually we'll jump into these places, but we're just gonna run around like, setting the levels for now. So 18, 15, 15, 18. These critters will be like painful to fight, so leave them alone for now. Probably go over here and set this guy's level as well, so criminal territory. The walls of the criminal territory. So yeah, basically just like the Var'Eyal desert from like the original Age of Ascendancy campaign. And the idea is like, Kruk Peninsula is basically over here the entire time, but the hero of Maj'Eyal basically missed it because he didn't actually have to go over here to get the he didn't have to go kill this guy's leader because this leader basically didn't have an orb really to get up into the mountains up there of High Peak. And by the way, there is hostile Sunwall patrols to worry about in this campaign, so they're around doing things. Go away. And they will pursue you, by the way, if they get a chance to, but let's go up here a little bit. Let's move away, please. I don't know how many old players basically remember it, but it used to be these patrols really annoying because they were come basically after you on the map. Alright, so here's basically a Sunwall Outpost. This is a lot higher than the other stuff, but why not? We'll set the level. And I'm glad I did, because that'll be a nasty bear to jump into when you get around to it. That's a saw butcher bear. I'll note by the way over here is a forest. It's level 31. And eventually when I get around to it, there'll be the orcs up here to deal with. So there's the Pride Internment Camp. And over here's the Sunwall, the Gates of Morning. There's no Spire Cavern over here this time around, so that's a thing. Let's get over here. So a couple more patrols this way. Now, I'm not basically what I'm looking around for right now, by the way, is the Ruined Dungeon. Yes, there's a Ruined Dungeon basically on Var'Eyal at this point. And the reason I'm looking for is its level, so keep looking around for it. There's a strange temporal disruption. Note that the minimum level for this is 56, so that's basically an endgame sort of thing. And there's the Ruined Dungeon. So we can go in here if I want to sort of set the level for this guy. So there's basically an all-log basically to start off with, so that'll be fun. Alright, so pretty much at this point I've explored the entirety of this landmass, so why not? Let's just go down here. We'll just explore down here a little bit. So this is the way to the primal forest over here. So when I want to, I'm going to basically go around to this way. Whoa, I almost ran into this guy here. It's very friendly running away from these guys, which is nice. There's another Sunpalm patrol over here. Almost ran into that one as well. There is basically a way to a strange portal. So basically if I want to use the portal, I can do so here. because I do have the DLC for the for cult, so to speak. So circle, small triangle, square, and 3 lines. That might be useful to level up my character if I need to, but you know, we'll hold off on that for now. And that's basically it. That's like, you know, the rest of the kind of sort of explore at this point. Alright, so when I basically get around to, we're going to basically jump into the Dominion port down here. That'll be my like first objective, so to speak. But I think for now, so I've got to basically explain like these like, you know, sort of talents basically at this point. And I figure I should probably like, you know, throw a little bit of like an expert about what type of class I'm basically playing here. So I'll note that the Psyshot is essentially, as you can probably guess, a sort of gunnery type of like, you know, character that basically points the gun at like, you know, enemies and basically shoots. But he's a little bit more distinct from like the gunslinger, who basically has like, you know, that sort of philosophy, but you know, has something basically different from going for this guy here. Essentially, the Psyshot is sort of like a spellcaster more than like he is like, yeah, a sort of like you know, archer character. And he basically has a lot of talents basically he uses to like, you know, essentially like damage the enemy as opposed to like, you know, just like relying on his guns basically do all the damage themselves. So his talents basically revolve around using like a gun and like a Mind Star. And basically like you have like, you know, Psyshot gunnery basically like, gives him the ability to like, you know, blast things away with like, you know, more and more damage with his weapons. But at the same time he basically like, you know, uses Mind Star to sort of like empower his shots as well. Essentially, the idea here of what's basically going on, you basically have a Mind Star in like one hand, like your gun in the other, and you basically using like your Mind Star to basically like, you know, empower your gun to do more damage with it. It is possible to sort of like, you know, set up your like, you know, your gun basically to be like, you know, powered by your Mind Star to like debuff the enemy. But I'm basically going to go for like a more like, you know, physical sort of approach where I basically use the gun and like, you know, have this sort of Mind Star basically there as like a, you know, a nice little helper, so to speak. I'll note by the way as well that a lot of these talents are basically here. The Thoughts of Iron are basically like, you know, there to sort of like give us like, you know, a little bit of like, you know, resistance to like all damage. It basically gives us a little bit of like, you know, retaliation as well, as you basically see here. And it also like reduces our detrimental effects basically on our character as well. Which is not that useful, but you know, if I have a ton of them basically on my character, that can be like helpful then. Mind drones is basically nothing really to like, you know, care about, but basically just like causes like, you know, enemies to basically have like issues with like, you know, their talents. So they actually have a chance of basically failing them. Sonic Mirror is basically useful to like, you know, remove debuffs basically of mental like origin. So confuse, fear, stuff like that. If I ever need to, I'll be like there basically make use of, but you know, that's like later down the road, so to speak. Mind Injection is basically going to be useful for like, you know, medical injectors we get around to it. But that's like a little bit like down the way as well. And I'll note that basically a lot of like, you know, this character basically, he essentially revolves around knowing basically how his abilities sort of work and sort of like, you know, pairing them together in like, you know, constructive ways to sort of like defeat his enemies, so to speak, as well. So you basically already seen this a little bit with like, you know, condensates. So the condensate basically lets us put like, you know, fire damage on enemies, but more importantly, it basically makes them wet. And if they're basically wet, then they like, you know, they essentially like, you know, are like, you know, more susceptible to stuns. And you know, if I have like blowing shot basically hit them with it, then they have like a chance of exploding, so to speak. So you saw that a little bit as well. I'll notice well that like, you know, Vapor's Step down here also like sort of like, you know, ties into that as well, because Vapor's Step essentially allows us to basically teleport us away, but also, you know, apply like the wet effect to like enemies that are nearby. And of course, like, you know, we can fire back a blowing shot again to like, you know, make him explode again as well from that like, you know, source of wetness as well. Now, I will note that there is like this like, you know, category for like Mech Star, and there's like, you know, like Solidify Air and like, you know, other stuff basically over here. Essentially, the idea of like the Mech Star and like the like, you know, action at distance like talents, they can be sort of like used to sort of keep enemies at bay. If you basically like, you know, hover over here like, you know, the Mel Star, this like, you know, one basically like, you know, knocks things back, so you have like, you know, you can basically like, you know, put some distance between like, you know, you and your enemies. And I found this actually worked pretty well by the way as well when I actually played it myself, because if you basically have like, you know, them basically being dazed, they can't like move around for a little bit. So as soon as they become undazed, they basically like charge back at you, so it's not that useful like, you know, at that point. Bloodstar basically is very useful because like you can basically link yourself to like, your enemies, so essentially, like, you'll be able to see where they basically are. Steam Star is, like, useful to, like, during, like, more damage and stuff like that. There's, like, Death Star. So, essentially, like, you make your other shoot towns basically cool down a little bit faster. Just close that off. Now, I will note that, like, you probably saw a little bit, like, a little bit later, I have, like, this, like, sort of, like, damage shield popping up every so often. That's basically caused by these talents here, so you have, like, Assault and, like, Improve Assault. And essentially how this basically works, these talents here will basically power up a damage shield every so often. That'll basically let me, like, tank hits, so to speak, when I basically use my side talents. So, it's worth noting that this character is basically all about using, like, side talents that sort of, like, deal with his enemies. And essentially, like, the improved, like, assault here basically just put on, like, a temporary damage shield to sort of help you out a little bit. You basically have, like, the metal stars that sort of, like, knock things back if you, like, use them. You have, like, solidify air basically sort of, like, lock things basically in place, or, like, put, like, a wall of air in front of you and, like, the target so they can't get to you. There's, like, other stuff as well. Now, I will note that eventually we'll get down to, like, this, like, stuff down here. This is basically, like, all, like, the, like, advanced, like, categories you basically get access to. The first one, Steam Tech Avoidance, is basically all about, like, avoiding damage for the most part, while, like, Dread is basically all about, essentially, like, applying, like, fearsome effects basically to enemies as well. You have, like, Sideworm, you have, like, No Hope, etc. And then over here we have, like, the Tinker stuff, like, combat training, and, like, Yeti, like, race stuff like that. This is pretty much all self-explanatory. Basically, like, the Steam Tech stuff basically, like, gives you Tinker access, and, like, the last couple things basically improve, like, your Steam Tank capacity and, like, your Steam power. The Yeti basically, like, improves, like, your Yeti ratios and stuff like that. Combat training is combat training. It's basically all self-explanatory, really, over here. Engineering over here is basically a couple, like, sort of, like, Steam-related talents that you can basically use if you want to, but most of these are, like, not that useful except for, like, Last Engineer Standing. Last Engineer Standings are really good because it actually gives you, like, cunning, physical save, resistance, self-inflicted damage, so all nice stuff basically to have. Well, really what you're getting this for is, like, the avoidance to be critically hit, so if you want to avoid being critically hit, that's, the talent right here is for it right here. Anyhow, that's it for the explanation basically for, like, what this class is basically all about. It's essentially sort of like an action-based class that basically, like, applies, like, effects basically to enemies and, like, blows them up with, like, boiling effects and, like, stuns them and stuff like that. It's not so much like the Archer class, which is basically all about, like, locking things down with, like, a couple times and, like, pelting with, like, arrows, or, like, the Gunslinger class basically, like, shoots a couple of, like, steam guns at things and, like, runs away from them. So it's a very different sort of playstyle, but whatever. Let's just enter here. And next time I'll basically be jumping into the Troll Dominion port, so until then, take care.